Namaskar. We're going to begin in another minute or so. Uh, for today's sitting, we're going to have to use a pad and paper. So you need something to write on. So if you have time, please go and get something to write on. Namaskar. We're going to begin in about 30 seconds. Please take this time to go get a writing pad, a notepad, something to write on. Today is a meditation plus talk. So there'll be a bit of talking in today's conversation. And there's also a lot of self work that we'll be doing. So you will be required to take notes on what's going on in your mind. So please bring a paper and pad and find a quiet spot at your home to engage in this conversation. All right. Please find a quiet place at your home, sitting on a cushion or on a chair or on a couch or on a bed. Sitting anywhere is fine. Sit in any comfortable posture. Sit with the back straight but not stiff. Back, neck, and head in a straight line. Close your eyes gently and relax the expression on the face. Relax your shoulders. Relax your belly. As you inhale, let the breath travel into the belly and let the belly expand. As you exhale, simply let go. Breathing into the belly, let the belly expand. Breathing out, simply let go. Let go of all your thoughts. Let go of all the unfinished business. Let go of everything outside this room and this 1 hour we have together. Breathing into the belly, let the belly expand. Breathing out, simply let go. Letting go and settling into the self. Breathing into the belly, let the belly expand. Breathing out, letting go and settling into the self. Let go. Now bring your palms together. Bring your palms together in Namaskar Mudra at the heart center. Pressing the palms together gently. Pressing the fingers together gently. Bring your attention into the hollow space between the palms. We're going to chant Om 3 times and then the opening prayer, Sana Bhavatu. Exhale completely. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Listen to the sound. Inhale. Inhale. Inhale, then chant. Sahana Bhavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karvavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu Mavidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Take your hands behind your back. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and then breathing in, stretch. Breathing out, bend forward in a deep sense of surrender. Come back up, breathing in, release your hands and place your palms in your lap. Blinking, open your eyes. Namaskar. My name is Gorakh and my spiritual name is Ekras Gorakh. And today is a meditation plus talk on the subject of our attention. This is a workshop I've designed for working professionals. And since 2016, I've delivered it to multiple office teams and groups of professionals that are working together, typically doing this in a 3-hour period. Today, we're going to do this in 1 hour today, and then later this month, when I sit for other sittings, we might catch up on some more. The subject of our focus today is our own attention. And that is important for a working professional because that's all you do. I hope you're seeing my screen. I've shared my screen. Now, our attention is what we bring to work every day. When we work on a hard problem, we need to have our attention available. When we need to solve complex issues that are multidimensional, we need to have our attention available. When we are talking to people and we're hearing what they're saying, we need our attention available. And when we're trying to convince people, to influence them to accept our strategy or our approach over something else, that requires our attention to be available. In fact, it requires more of our attention to be available because we have to influence other people to do what we are asking them to do. So attention is the primary working muscle of a working professional. And unfortunately, we have extremely powerful technology working against us. I'm going to talk to you about that today. I got into this direction because of this one doha from Kabir Das ji, which is Jin khoja tin paiyan gehre pari pant, main bari duban dari, rahi kinare bat. Which is to say that what all I seek, what all treasures I seek, I find deep inside. But I, a coward, afraid of drowning, just sit by the shore. every insight, every intuition, every inspirational source, every bit of energy that you have available to you comes from deep inside. But because we are afraid of going into our own selves, we stay on the surface of our attention, surface of our consciousness. So, what's on the surface of our consciousness? It's a lot of thoughts. It's a lot of thoughts chasing after each other. And we've convinced ourselves into believing that our thoughts are who we are, our surface thoughts, all those things that are chasing around each other. But really, the real genius is deep inside, and which is why if you look at Archimedes when he had his Eureka movement sitting in a bathtub, or Kekule was it who had a inspiration of a benzene molecule, and that of a snake chasing its own tail. All of those genius insights seem to come at a time when they're not doing anything else. Their attention is pointed in one direction. And it's coming from deep inside. It's not even from conscious thoughts that they're getting these ideas. So all the treasures of the modern world that we want from our work come from deep inside. But our problem is we don't know how to go deep inside. And that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with attention merchants who are now, when I wrote this presentation, interestingly, one second, let me just stop that. When I wrote this presentation 4 years ago, these companies were half their size in market cap, but just three companies are worth about, is it $2 trillion? Companies that monetize our attention, whose job is to take our attention and convert it into money for themselves. Those companies are doing really well. And a couple of years, I did a series of radio interviews called saying that this is the age of destruction and distraction, where everything we know is being destroyed, and it's apparently become worse this year than it was 2 years ago. And our attention is being taken away. We are being distracted by all the technology. And these guys are really clever because technology is figuring out algorithmically how we can be more distracted, how we can be more enraged, how we can be more trained to look at our phone every 2 seconds. And so these attention merchants are powerful sources of technology. And we have to find our own way to counter that and hold on to our attention. And for that, I'm going to tell you a story. And for those of you who are used to my regular class here, which is all meditation, I apologize. There is going to be meditation, but I'm just going to talk. I hope this is okay with everyone. All right, so let me tell you the story. This is a famous story of Mullah Nasruddin. Mullah Nasruddin is sitting on his donkey as he does, and he and his donkey are moving along with determination. So after a few minutes, his friends see Mullah Nasruddin going somewhere, and they say, "Hey, Mullah, where do you think you're going?" Mullah Nasruddin looks at his friend, looks at the donkey, then he says, "I don't know who's the ass here, you or my donkey. Can't you see I'm going out of town?" And then Mullah he's determined to keep going. He keeps going. After a few minutes, another friend comes up. He says, "Hey, Mullah, where do you think you're going?" Mullah says, "Today must be a day for stupidity. Can't you see I'm going out of town?" And another friend comes up to Mullah a couple of minutes later. He says, "Mullah, where do you think you're going?" Mullah says, "What is with you people? Did you have stupid water? I'm going out of town. You see my face, you see my finger. I'm going out of town." So his friends stop him right there and he says, "Mullah, you're sitting ass backward on your donkey, and your donkey is going in town. You're pointing the wrong way." He says, Mullah laughs at his friend. He says, "Look, you guys are weird. If you wanted to know where my donkey is going, you should have asked the donkey. If you want to know where I'm going out of town. The donkey wants to go wherever he wants to go." And that's a famous story of Mullah Nasruddin, so famous that there's even a statue out here somewhere in Turkey, I'm assuming. The reason this story I find it interesting is we are so confident that we're We have control over our consciousness. We have control over our attention and where we're going and what we're doing. But it is not so. It is not so because our mind, which is a donkey or a monkey, depending on what you like, our mind has a mind of its own. And it's going to do whatever it wants and wherever it wants to go. And that's the problem that we have today. We have no control over our attention span, and our donkey goes into town, whether we want to go out of town or not, it doesn't matter. And so today's sitting is really about sitting the right way on the donkey, taking charge, and going out of town if you want to go out of town. We're going to learn that step by step. But before that, I'm going to tell you a little bit more of theory, and then we'll sit. But I digress. We're not going to talk theory right now. We're going to actually just sit and observe. Now, for those who came in a little late, today's sitting involves a pen and paper. So I'd like you to fetch a pen and paper if you haven't already got it. And now we're just going to observe. So I'd like you to sit. Um, I'd like you to sit comfortably. Have your pen and paper in front of you. Close your eyes and just sit. I'm going to ring a bell like this every once in a while. And you have to promise me when you hear the bell, you're going to open your eyes, pick up your pen, don't do any more thinking. Simply write down in 2 to 3 words what you were thinking at the time. Are you with me? So let's recap what we're doing. We're going to just sit, close our eyes and sit, observing ourselves. Every now and then a bell will ring, and when the bell rings, you're going to open your eyes and take notes. Let's begin. Please sit comfortably in any posture and sit with your eyes closed, your back straight but not stiff, back, neck, and head in a straight line. Breathing comfortably and naturally. Simply sit and observe. Letting the breath be natural and comfortable. Open your eyes, pick up your pen, and immediately write down in 2 to 3 words what you're thinking about. Close your eyes, observe. Open your eyes, pick up your pen, write down in 2 to 3 words what you were thinking about. If it's nothing, just make a dash. Close your eyes, go back to observation. Make another observation. Close your eyes and return back. Make another observation and then close your eyes. Another observation. You know what to do. Write down the final thought and then open your eyes. Observe the list that you have in front of you.
For some reason, we can't see you.
You can't see me. I have
Okay,
uh,
now it's fine.
I have disappeared into the void. Thank you. So if you look at the list in front of you, you might observe we had 10 stops. You might observe 10 different thoughts. You might observe 4 different thoughts. You might observe worries, concerns, things you forgot to do, stuff that you still need to remember, or just a daydream. The mind has a mind of its own. And so, just like Nasruddin's donkey, it decides where it wants to go, when it wants to go. And when we go out to work, we don't necessarily have control over it. Now, what that means is we don't really have a choice. We waste a lot of time doing the wrong things. Now, one of the interesting things that I learned as part of this exercise and doing my research is the idea of attention residue. Now, imagine you wake up with a clean slate. You have a clean page with nothing written on it. As soon as you wake up, you pick up your phone because, of course, you pray to your phone first thing in the morning, and you read some news article that sticks in your head. Then you begin to do something else. You finally get to work. That news article is still stuck in your head. You're doing your task number one. You don't finish task number one when an email arrives or a phone call arrives or you have to jump on a Zoom call. So you now have that news article from the morning and task number one unfinished, and you're on to task call number two, and so on. Now, the idea of attention residue is that if the mind has a limited attention capacity, what's happening is that clutter is filling up in the mind. So imagine you had a clean sheet of paper and you started writing on it. Now, the amount of paper available to you by 10 o'clock in the morning is very little. You have very little mind space available to focus on the task at hand. And this is called attention residue, which is you're dealing with residual attention, not your entire mind space, but a very small fraction of your attention to the task at hand. Now, what does that lead to? It leads to this cult of busyness. What is the cult of busyness? It is this. It turns out because our intensity of focus is low and we want to do high quality work because, of course, we are professionals, what are we going to do? We're going to be really, really busy. We're going to spend more and more time with less and less attention, getting poorer and poorer quality. So, how do you get out of this situation? How do you get out of this situation in a way that you have complete control over your attention? And when you take up a task, you finish the task and then you go to the next one. You see, your spiritual energy, your physical energy, your mental energy, you can't deploy all of that if your attention is going in all directions. So you're going to have to regroup your forces, regroup your attention, and then point the attention to your task at hand. If you do that, you will appear to be more energetic in the work that you're doing. You will appear to be more focused. Your work will have better ideas coming to you, and you will get more done while having the same number of hours in the day as everybody else. You don't have to become a workaholic because you have a lot of work to do. Spending a lot of doing time is not the same thing as doing work. Prisoners do time. You're not a prisoner of your workplace. You have to focus on getting work done, which means you have to take back attention and deploy it very focused in a focused manner. That's the whole point of being undistracted. Now, the reason I teach meditation to professionals is obviously that the original knowledge workers were yogis because they were going after the deepest, highest knowledge. Yeah, jnana or jnana, as we say in Hindi. And so they were interested in the highest knowledge. And of course, all they did all day was sit in one place and meditate, which is not very different from what you're doing all day, which is sit in one place and attend Zoom calls. So, if the original knowledge workers were able to figure out what to do, certainly you can figure out what to do and how to focus your attention. All right. So, what you have to do is take all those active items out of your everything you've written on the piece of paper. Chances are that's not where you're going, but your donkey wants to go to these 10 different places. When you focus on a task, when I do this in a work sitting, and it's a 3 hour workshop, I usually ask people to find time to focus on one particular activity. What activity? That activity that requires your full, uninterrupted attention. Now, like a craftsman, you're going to derive satisfaction just by doing this activity well. That activity could be writing code, making a presentation, doing a sketch, a note, or a song. It doesn't matter what the activity is, but you bring that activity. And the way I teach it, and there's a recording somewhere on the internet, but we're going to record this and make it available. The way I teach it is you're going to take another piece of paper, write down the activity that you wish to achieve. And in the 30 minutes we have remaining together, we're going to sit in meditation, wipe the mind space clean completely. And then when we come out of that meditation, we're going to look at this beautiful blank piece of paper with one thing written on it. And then for the remaining minutes of the sitting, we're going to just pay attention to that one thing. You don't have to force yourself to do anything. You just have to let go first. That's the important part. So if you're with me, um, take a cup, take a 30 seconds. I'm going to time you to write down on a blank piece of paper the activity that you wish to spend time on. You probably have 15 to 20 minutes on that activity. So name something that you can finish with full attention in a 1 hour time frame. You'll do it in 15 minutes, of course. All right. So 30 more seconds to go. I'm going to start counting and then I'll ring the bell. Once I've rung the bell, you're going to turn the paper upside down and close your eyes. Ready? Let's begin. And I'll give you 30 seconds from the bell. All right. Turn the paper upside down. Close your eyes. Sitting comfortably in any posture, sitting with the back straight, back, neck, and head in a straight line. Close your eyes gently. Relax the expression on the face. Bring the attention to your breath. When I ring the bell, every time I ring the bell, bring the attention back to the breath. You don't have to be too firm with your own attention. Be kind, but be very persistent. Be firm, but not too firm, is the general direction. When the bell rings, just remember that you are paying attention to the breath and return. Don't invite the thoughts. Don't engage the thoughts. Don't propel the thoughts. Don't repel the thoughts. Simply bring your attention to the breath. back to the breath. Now we're going to chant a low and long Om sound. Bring the attention to your heart, and then we're going to make a endless line of these Omkaras. So we're going to begin and not stop. You have to find an Om chant, Om sound that is pleasing to you, a pace that is comfortable to you, and you're going to inhale reasonably quickly and exhale slowly as you chant Om. We're going to begin. Exhale, complete. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Low and long Om sound. Inhale. Don't slow down or stop. Inhale. Listen to the sound. It's relentless. Keep going. Keep going. Silence. Sit in silence. Blinking. Blinking, open your eyes. Turn the paper in front of you upside and look at the project that you've chosen for yourself. I'm going to play some music and then we will have the bell as a reminder. Every time the bell rings, just remember to come back to the task at hand. Be sure to only do the task that you've chosen for yourself. Returning back to the task at hand. Return back to the task at hand. Ashishji, yes, the question is, are we supposed to work on the task? Yes. We're taking this time to pay attention to the task, and we're using the bell as a reminder to return back to the task at hand. Last 60 seconds, begin to wind down your work. Take this time to note any unfinished agenda items that you can come back to at later time. Last 30 seconds. All right, pens down, hand in your papers. The way you would do this in practice is you would keep out 60 to 90 minutes of your schedule every day, 2 times a day, maybe, or definitely 5 to 10 times a week. Build in those empty calendar items into your schedule that you can actually practice this deep work. So you're going to do in 90 minutes things that you probably wanted to do for 3 weeks. So keep those 90-minute windows open in your schedule, just the way we did it right now. Initiate by writing down the activity on a slip of paper. Relax the body, adjust the breath, relax and calm down your awareness. We went through this quickly, but then deep work after that from that slip of paper, and then wind down and close, shut down complete. Once you're done, you've taken the notes out of this session, you don't remember this session. It'll go away from your memory. So that's the other part, which is you don't want some of this stuff to linger on outside when you go back. All right. Now, with that said, I'd like to get some feedback from people on how the experience was, how many thoughts you noted before, and whether you were able to get anything done. Please unmute yourself, and I'd love to listen in on your feedback. Anyone get through the process?
Yes, Gaurav.
Okay, sure. Yes.
Yeah, I would like to talk about my experience.
Yes.
And in that one, see, originally when you said to silent our mind, my mind, so I was keeping silent, trying to focus my attention, divert inward. In the first place, I was trying to focus more. It was going deeper, deeper, and again the bell ring. And then next time I heard a little bit traffic noise. And then third time I heard the birds noise. There was sounds of birds. The fourth time I didn't hear anything, and then finally I felt a little bit relaxed, but a little bit drowsy also. And
Interesting.
regarding the project that you assigned, so in that project I thought to prepare a presentation for my next project, and in the time frame that you gave between silence and jotting down the ideas, I have decided to made a basic framework of the points that I would like to elaborate. So there are several 5 pages, I think 3 pages I've written down here.
Very
So
nice.
it was a good experience, in my opinion, that this kind of focusing helps to go deeper within ourselves and try to uh, silence our mind and then get a fresh thought of useful thought, that of ideas. And that idea we can work on during the daytime, other period of time, and build up more material for the
Yeah.
project. That's what I experienced.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. I see Satyajit ji has a comment on whether the activity, if what if it's dependent on unknowns and needs interruptions. And the answer to that is if the activity needs interruptions, then you only do the part of the activity that does not require an interruption. And then you go handle the interrupt and come back again. But you do it in a complete sort of sealed chamber. You only do sprints of activities, stop it, go do something else, and then come back. You can't carry this activity on your back all the time because then your attention will run away again. Anybody else want to share feedback on what their experience was and whether they got anything done?
Totally energized, Gauravji.
Thank you. Sorry, Ashiji.
Question. So you suggested the Harvard Business Review technique that you are saying maybe 1.5 hours for just answering the emails and all that. And so that one of the problem we all face is that during the minutes you are asking.
Ashiji, I'm not able to hear you clearly.
Ashishji, you're too close to the mic. Just go far from the mic a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, I'm very sorry. Oh, okay.
No, I think there's still some cracking noise.
Better?
Hanji.
Now
Yes,
better.
hello? Yes, better.
Okay, so the question I was going to ask is, do you recommend then that this Harvard Business Review suggestion that you only answer your email in a chunk of, let's say, 1 hour or hour and a half, so that during the deep work time, you don't reply to any of the Slack or email, etc. So that way you keep the deepness of the deep work?
There's no question about it. If you're always responding on emails or chat or text and so on, then your attention is running away. Your donkey is always running back into town. Mm-hmm. So my recommendation is always, it's a question of expectation settings. You let people know you'll respond to them because people want you to not just say yes or no, right? They want your attention. You can respond to them when you have the right time and mind frame. You don't need to respond with a half-baked, half-attention sense. Mm-hmm. It's a question of training people around you that your attention will come in spurts, but when it comes fully.
Thank you.
All right. How do you close at the end of 30 minutes and there is lingering task or project is incomplete? The way I'd recommend you do it, the way I do it, is I just write down the thing that is incomplete. And then when I do the same session next time, I pick up that one activity and then take it to closure. You don't have to let anything linger. All right. So more feedback if you have, I'd love to hear it. Please text and tell me how you felt. For people who work, there's a recording somewhere on the internet. I've used the European national anthem as the meditative device. And it's a 20-minute recording. So you can come in and it goes for 20 minutes and then you can focus on your work at hand. If you send me an email, I'll send you the link. All right, let's begin to close our setting today. Please sit comfortably with your back straight, your back, neck and head in a straight line. Closing the eyes gently, relax the expression on the face and bring a smile to your face. Bring your palms together at the heart center. Pressing your palms together gently. Pressing your fingers together gently. Gently touching the back of the thumbs into the chest. We're going to chant Om 3 times and then the closing prayers. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Exhale completely. Take a deep breath. Inhale. 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 Inhale, then chant. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramaya. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Take your arms behind you. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and breathing in, stretch. Breathing out, bend forward in a deep sense of surrender. Come back up, breathing in. Release your hands, rub your palms together to generate some heat. And then gently cup your eyeballs to transfer that heat, massaging the face and the neck. And then blinking, open your eyes and pull your palms back like an open book. Namaskar. Thank you very much for all your support to the community for immunity. On Wednesday at 4 o'clock, we will be doing our 500th yoga and meditation session. So thank you very much to all the wonderful teachers. A lot of you are teachers here. Really appreciate your help and support. And to everyone who's attending these sessions, I hope you're enjoying them and we'd love to hear your feedback. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, Gauravji.
Thank you. Have a great day.